Good evening, everyone. Thank you for anyone out there who is tuning into this, whether you're joining the live stream or you end up seeing this after the fact. My name is Brandon Townsend, and I am the College and Career Counselor here at Appoquinimink High School in Appoquinimink School District. We have a number of amazing individuals who are on this panel today from some local art and design colleges. And so they're going to be sharing information about the programs they offer, the application process. They will also be sharing possibly some financial aid information, and we'll do some question and answer as well. So once again, thank you all, and thank you to all the folks from Delaware College of Art and Design, Pennsylvania College of Art and Design, as well as Moore College of Art and Design for being here with us. I'm going to go ahead and turn things right over to Mr. Randall Reed, who will take things from here. So Randall, if you want to go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Randall. I'm the Director of Admissions at the Delaware College of Art and Design. And I'm so happy that you guys could join us for DCAT, PCAT, and more's presentation about the importance of going to an art and design college and what makes us just a little bit different. I want to introduce my colleague from DCAT that's here with me today. That's Sydney Paul. We are both DCAT alum and really kind of celebrate in the work that DCAT provides for our students, our alums, and beyond. I do have a quick presentation, and then I'll kind of popcorn it over to some of my other buddies here. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, the Delaware College of Art and Design. We're Delaware's very own art school. Who thought we might be small, but we're still mighty? Our values: dedication, creativity, accomplishment, and diversity. When thinking about attending an art and design college, it's important that you find a place that will give you the opportunity to express your creative voice and vision and how you perceive the world. And an ideal student at DCAD embodies all of these values. DCAD offers a 2-year Associate's Fine Arts degree in animation, illustration, graphic design, fine art, and photography. It's intensive studio work that's supported by academic courses, so you'll spend about 70% of your time in the studio, 30% of your time in academics, and we'll kind of get to that later. A firm foundation in art and design. You'll graduate with a portfolio of work that you can utilize to either kickstart your career or to transfer to a 4-year institution to complete your bachelor's. We educate, empower, and challenge emerging artists and designers just like you. And we do this within our inclusive, diverse, creative community. All right, Wilmington, y'all should be no strangers to that. DCAT is located at the corner of 6th and Market in downtown Wilmington, right in the heart of the creative district. We do have a gallery on our first floor. The exhibition that's up right now is This Is Us, which is work that's created by local Black and Brown artists and their voices and opinions in these uncertain times. DCAT also participates as a part of the Art Loop. So we kind of celebrate as a whole city around emerging artists and designers, as well as established artists and designers. This is Liana Bacani. She was a student at DCAT a couple of years ago and is now a full-time student at Moore. And I want you guys to really take this quote into mind when looking for an art and design program. When I visited DCAT, I instantly felt comfortable, immediately felt at ease talking with professors, and the artwork inspired her as well. On your journey in finding the right art and design college to go to, it is important that you find students that look like you, act like you, professors that inspire you, and work that feels meaningful, that relates to your own voice and vision as an artist and designer. I did want to turn things over to Sydney if you had anything to add to our conversation.
Sorry, I was unmuting myself. You wanted me to add? Oh, sorry. Sorry, the video is lagging. I think that it is important for students to come aboard to DCAD, our close, nice, close-knit, diverse community. We open all students with open arms, and yeah, I think you well spoke, Randall. I'm sorry.
That is okay. Well, I want to turn things over to one of my lovely colleagues, Osmond from PCAD.
Hello, everyone. Let me share my screen real quick and I'll get right into my presentation for you. Whoops. Give me 1 second. My apologies. Oops. Alrighty. So, I'm Osmond Ori. I'm an admissions counselor and alum of 2011 from Pennsylvania College of Art and Design. As I said before, I'm just going to give a little rundown of what the school has to offer, and then go into a little bit about the foundation year that we offer at the school, and possibly some scholarships that we provide as well. Going forward, let me get my arrows correct here. Our motto at the school is seeing differently, and how we cultivate that idea. We teach students to create influence through adaptive thinking, effective making, and an articulate voice. We try and hone their skills while they're in the school throughout the 4 years that they're in their majors and the first foundation year, and also get them prepared for life outside of the college. Just a little backstory about us. We were founded in 1982 for artists by artists, so that makes us a relatively young school. It was originally founded by 6 artists in Marietta, Pennsylvania, that eventually moved to downtown Lancaster. You get your bachelor's and your fine arts degree when you come to the school. That is a 4-year program, and you major in any of the 5 majors that are listed here. We have animation and game art, fine art, graphic design, illustration, photography and video, and live entertainment experience design, which is one of our majors that's coming soon. We do like to call ourselves a micro college. We like to call it because our enrollment's just under 300 students relatively. We usually hover around 250 to 275 students. And then we're also located in downtown Lancaster, as I mentioned before. We're roughly about an hour and 15 minutes away from DCAD, so we're relatively close. If you wanted to, potentially transfer from there and come to our school. One thing that we do like to cultivate, and we do like to bring forward within our school, and one thing we talk about a lot is personal experience. Our student to teacher ratio is about 10 to 1 or 12 to 1. That further cultivates that experience of like having the students being able to reach out, talk to their teachers, not really having to wait for office hours, things like that. You get that close-knit personal experience we like to really cultivate within the community that we build at PCAT. I did want to go into the foundation year because I do think it's extremely important to build that foundation for the next 4 years for our students. I also think it's very important for going to any College of Art and Design, whether you're going to DCAD more or PCAD in general. This first year kind of builds that foundation, that base for skills that you may bring into your other majors that you may choose when you're coming to PCAT. So essentially, like as I said, you're building that artistic foundation. It's kind of split between your studio courses and then some of your liberal arts courses. It's about 65% of your courses will usually be your studio courses. That's usually within your major. And then the other 35% is usually liberal arts courses or communication arts courses listed down here below. You usually have 6 studio courses that can range from 3 to 6 hours, depending on what day it's on. And then we also have our communication courses that are in the morning and your 2 liberal arts courses that go within art history as well. And those can be in the evenings or in the mornings as well. These are just some examples. We do have students that combine, like you have classes that combine digital photo aspects and digital media that kind of combine the animation and gaming art and photo aspects. We do have classes going into more traditional means of painting and anatomy drawing, classes that are based in 2D and 3D design when you go into the foundation year, classes in self-portraiture on a large scale, I should say. Then photo one's another class. It's kind of an introduction to photography, dealing with light composition and the history of photography and where that comes from. And then we also have classes that kind of deal with the more base structures of what's in an image, like composition, lighting, shading, and things like that. One thing we also like to tout about our school is that 95% of our students are usually employed or within graduate school within the year of graduating out of our program. We like to chalk that up to a lot of our personalized support and exposure programs, as well as our senior experience and mentor programs that we introduced using during the junior and senior years. We do have an online, on-campus and online career advising core. We have online career advisor, I should say, within the campus that posts jobs daily to our career link site that we host. Our professional practices courses are another thing that we like to bring in that usually comes within the junior and senior year, along with the senior year experience in the senior studios and senior show and celebration that happens. But then there's a number of different events that we have listed here that kind of cultivate that experience for our students to get out, experience the world, and not just kind of be restrained within the school all the time. We'd like to introduce a lot of networking opportunities and a lot of things that bring businesses within the school to give our students that experience of, real-time active business and critical thinking like that. And then these are just some of the places that some of our students have gone on to work with. Curio Sketch Club and Studio is one of the places that's right across the street from the school, actually, that's run by two of our alums, Matthew Chapman and Nicole Duquette. We've also had another student in the past couple of weeks that has worked for Nickelodeon. And a number of our students have come back and given artist talks as well. But it's really, really cool to see where a lot of our students go and how their mentorships and senior experiences kind of blossom into these different careers. And then eventually they come back and tell us how they got to where they are and where they are now. So with the application process, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You submit an application. Then you usually submit your portfolio online. Considering circumstances, we have a lot of our students submit their portfolios online via their Slate portal once they complete their application via the same Slate portal. 250 to 500 word personal statement is pretty standard. We want you to tell us about you, why you're interested in the school, et cetera, et cetera. And then we also require high school transcripts. And then we usually are suggesting you schedule an interview with us. In these times, it's kind of everyone's doing a lot of Zoom talks and a lot of things like that. We honestly want to get to know you as a person through your personal statement and through the interview process. And those two things kind of back each other up when it comes to us getting to know you in general. And we do schedule Zoom tours or Zoom visits as well, one-on-one with each of our counselors as well. And then lastly, with our portfolio pieces, it's fairly straightforward as well. We usually require 8 to 10 pieces of recent and original work. It's at least 2 pieces from observation. We want to make sure all your pictures are clear and well lit. This is in regards to if you have sculptures or oversized paintings that you can't really scan or get in digitally. We just want to make sure all your pieces are well lit that way. And then do your pieces show off your ideas and skills? We do like to see work that's has a very wide range. But we also like to see what you're working on, and we don't want to have someone else's idea within your portfolios. And then showcasing equal amounts of breadth and depth. What we mean by that when we say that is having a variety amount of media, and that can be from like pencils, graphite, charcoal, things like that. And then also having an equal amount of depth. What we mean is like an understanding of the subject matter that you tend to be focusing on. So if we want you to branch out, try a lot of different things. And that ultimately leads up to that foundation year I was talking about earlier, when you could first come to the school and are hit with a lot of different classes and a lot of things that you may not have tried before coming into the school. So we want to make sure you're prepared for that and you're going into that foundation year prepared, like I said. And then the last 2 points I would say, does the order of your art in portfolio make sense? And are you able to talk about your creative process? These kind of go hand in hand. If your portfolio is organized and you understand what you're talking about, they kind of just meld themselves together and you're able to present yourself in a very professional manner when presenting your portfolio to us. Organization and presentation always matter. And that's why we ask you to prepare your portfolio in that way. Lastly, we do have scholarships that are through the school. We have the PCAD Merit Scholarship and Award, and then our Portfolio Merit Scholarship competition that we usually hold every year. But we do accept outside scholarships. If you go to this link here at pcad.edu/financial aid, there's a scholarship engine that helps you find scholarships that are applicable to us and then help you move forward with the financial aid process. And that is what PCAD's all about. And Jen or Bonnie, if you'd like to add anything else, that would be great. And, sorry. Go ahead, Bonnie.
I can go. We're excited to be here together with DCAD and Moore College. all of our colleges are the places to create at. So welcome to everybody here, and we're excited to be here. I just want to touch quickly on, we have a 2+2 articulation agreement with DCAD, and what that means from the PCAD standpoint. It helps the DCAD student prepare, have a relationship with Pennsylvania College of Art and Design faculty, advisors, admissions counselors in getting your schedule and your courses that you're taking at DCAD your first 2 years in line with future transferring to PCAD to get your BFA. So we have this relationship set up. It's called a 2+2 articulation agreement. And essentially it helps guide you into our PCAD majors and take the proper courses for your freshman and sophomore years. The agreements exist for fine arts, graphic design, illustration, and photography. Is it possible to get a screen share?
Yep, I got you. Give me 1 second.
This way everybody has a little bit of a visual.
You are now a
look
co-host,
at.
so you should be able to share.
Great. There you go. So DCAD to PCAD, like I was saying, we have the agreement with majors from fine art, graphic design, illustration, and photography. Essentially, you decide to come to PCAD, you fill out an intent to enroll form, which lets PCAD know that you have intention of coming and finishing your Bachelor of Fine Arts. And you essentially complete that by your sophomore first semester, where you have about 45 credits, and then we can help guide you. You're very welcome to complete this earlier than that. And the earlier you know you're coming to our college, we can help you out and cooperate with DCAD as well in getting your proper courses on your semesters. You want to fill out your application by your last semester, or if you graduate with an associate's from DCAD, you have 1 year to apply to get that articulation agreement aspects. Also, fees and portfolio are waived as a DCAD Associates of Fine Arts student when you come into PCAD. So you don't have that application fee. You don't have to submit your portfolio. We do offer a creative scholarship of $2,000, which is eligible to DCAD students upon your AFA with a 3.0 GPA or higher. So that's a little bit of money off of your adventure starting at PCAD after DCAD. Your acceptance, you're assured PCAD acceptance at your junior level, barring making sure that you are, having counselors counsel you on taking the correct courses at DCAD that will transfer in as your foundation year. Like Osman mentioned, you'll have drawing, 2D design, 3D design, photography, courses like that, which you would take as a freshman and sophomore. So that is essentially how we have a relationship with DCAD, that we can help once you graduate with your AFA and come to Pennsylvania College of Art and Design and finish your Bachelor's of Fine Arts. I will then throw it to my counterpart, Jen, and let her give you some information.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. My name is Jen Renko. I'm the Director of Enrollment and Admissions at Pennsylvania College of Art and Design, and I'm really excited to be here. I'll be talking a little bit more during our panel portion of this. This is the actual 7th College of Art and Design that I have worked in admissions and enrollment for, and I am really excited to talk with you about the value of an art and design education with my partners, Kim and Randall, and my awesome staff, Bonnie and Osman. Thanks.
Okay, so I will go next with a brief presentation about Moore College of Art and Design. So my name is Kim Brickley. My title at Moore is Senior Admissions Counselor. I've been at Moore about 3 years, and I've been working in the art education / cultural field for about 20 in various aspects, and in the Philadelphia area. So a little bit about Moore. We were started in 1848 by a woman named Sarah Worthington Peter. So we've been around a long time. We're the first and only all women's art college in the country. And that being said, our gender policy does include non-binary and anyone who identifies as a woman. So we were started by a woman for getting women jobs in the arts, and we continue to do that with the core belief of serving historically underrepresented folks within the arts. We're right in the center of Philadelphia in the informally called the Museum District. So we're down the street from the Philadelphia Museum of Art. We're across from the Barnes Foundation. We're next to the Franklin Institute, and you get free admission to most of those museums as a student. We're also within walking distance of all of the great sites of Philadelphia, either, if you're a foodie or if you're a history buff or if you just want to walk around an urban setting, we are right there. We have 9 majors at Moore. Film is a new one that we're adding for the upcoming year, so we're really excited about that. We're getting all the facilities and faculty together for that. We are also small. We have about 425 students total. Our faculty to student ratio is 1:8, so very small class sizes, a lot of opportunity for mentorship, which I think is really important when you are trying to find your particular artistic vision. We also have minors, so you can minor in any of the majors. Some people even double minor. And we also have, you just can't minor in art education. That's the only one. And then we also have art history, business, creative writing, and textile design. So we're one of the few art colleges in the country that guarantees an $1,000 paid internship. We're very career-based at Moore. We have a fantastic career center, internal job search engine just for the Moore community. The Career Center helps you with resume writing as well as mock interviews. They help you find an internship and apply for it within your field. And if you get paid for your internship, you get the $1,000 stipend on top of that. You also have access to the Career Center as an alum for the rest of your life if you graduate. 100% of our students get some type of merit-based aid that can be anywhere from about $6,000 per year up through our highest scholarship we offer, which is $22,000 per year. This is called the Visionary Women Honors Program. It's $22,000 for first-year students and $19,000 for transfer students. In addition to the scholarship money, you have an honors path you can choose. An academic path is more scholarly based. It has honors programs and research-based projects. And the leadership path is about community engagement, as well as building your leadership skills and things like public speaking. So to apply, it's pretty easy. We just require 3 things. That's the online application, which takes about 10 minutes. If you need a fee waiver, we're happy to give that to you. Your transcripts from your school. If you are a high school student, it would be high school transcripts. If you're a transfer student, it would be any and all college transcripts. And then a portfolio of 8 to 12 artworks. If you have other things that you want to include, such as letters of recommendation, an essay, or test scores, you may include those as well. We are test optional, so if you are not a great test taker, feel free to leave those out, and if you are, feel free to include them. So for the portfolio, we're just looking for 8 to 12 artworks in any medium or style done in the last 2 years. We have a variety of majors, as you saw. So we take any type of visual art and design. If you have any questions about it, just let us know. Um, and the only stipulation really is that it should be all original work. If you're including sketchbook pieces digitally, it should all be on one slide. And we recommend 2 to 3 observational pieces, but it's not required. The 6 categories on the right are actually how we evaluate your portfolio. So we use those to kind of score all of your works collectively and average them together. And if you have questions about that, we are offering free classes through the admissions office in conjunction with the faculty. We have one side which is called portfolio boot camps, now through January and into the spring. And they tackle those categories that we talked about to evaluate your portfolio and kind of break it down and help you start projects. And then we're also having interactive portfolio workshops with the foundation year faculty. We also have a foundation year. So if you're interested in that, please register at moore.edu/visit. And then lastly, we also have a 2+2 agreement with GCAD. So you can apply to Moore either as a first-year student or as a transfer student. And it's a very similar process if you come in as a transfer under the 2+2 agreement. So lastly, I'll just leave you with our team. We have 3 counselors. I'm more kind of a specialized counselor. Genevieve Arnone, who would be the Delaware counselor, so she would be the one helping you through the process. So thank you for listening.
Thank you all very much. Does anyone else have anything else to add, or Randall, do you think we're good to go ahead and answer a couple questions?
If there are some questions that have come in, I would say absolutely. Let's get right to what the people want, All
right, that sounds good. So I'll start with you with this one, Randall, and maybe I'll pick somebody different to answer first, the next one. But if you guys have the same answers, that's great. But if you guys can go around and just try to answer these questions. So the first question we got was, should students submit their application now and then their portfolio by the application deadline, or hold their application until their portfolio is ready in the spring?
Okay, so I would say submit your application now. That will get you into the wheels of the machine here. That way I can send you friendly reminders about submitting your portfolio, interesting hip happening things that are happening at my institution, invite you to special events on campus. So I would urge students, submit the application. If anything, that's the easiest part. And then we'll help you through the rest of that process. I mean, I'd even love to look at your portfolio, even in the beginning stages, to give you some direction on where you could go. And I could honestly say all of my colleagues here would do exactly the same.
Yeah, I agree, Randall. I think that's a great point. And it gets the student into the system quickly, and we can then stay in contact. And I work with transcripts. I'm the transfer outreach coordinator for PCAD. And sometimes it takes a long time to get transcripts in. So the earlier students start in the application process, I think the better. And I think that is a great point to make. If you start, we can help you along the way as well and answer any questions.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard that question, because students, especially art students, want to have everything perfect. And that is a wonderful quality about art students. So it's always really difficult to say, you don't have to have everything perfect. You can just submit your application. Most of the time there's a fee waiver, so there's really not a whole lot of commitment to submitting that application. It's if you think about it, like what they say when you're looking for jobs, submit a whole bunch of resumes, right? It doesn't mean that you have to go to that place, and then open all the doors and the opportunities and see what comes back to you. That's a great strategy.
Awesome. So everybody out there, submit your applications like yesterday. Just kidding, now, or, winter breaks coming up. So that's a really good opportunity for students to take a few days away from their screens and schoolwork and then hop into the college process if they haven't started yet, or if they're taking a break or they're just stressed out. Thank you all. And that I'm going to lead that into, because I believe it was Bonnie that kind of talked about working with transcripts. We had, I believe it was a student submit a question asking, are there required GPAs for your institutions? And I'm going to add something into that, whether yes or no, what are you looking at on the transcript? Are you looking more at the art classes the student took? Are you looking overall? How are they as an overall holistic student? And then, can you also add into that? I'm going to add another piece to that, comparing their transcript versus looking at their portfolio. And what kind of weight each of those may have in regards to decisions.
I think every school has their own secret formula, but we like to take a holistic approach. We actually look at GPA slightly more, and we look at cumulative weighted GPA, and we balance that in with the portfolio score to come out with kind of a final result. And then if you want to submit like supplementary things, like say you had a bad semester and you want to submit an essay about it, that's a great opportunity to tell us about that so we can take that into consideration. We also consider like if your GPA is under a certain level, like in the lower twos, but it's mostly because of math and sciences, then we look at that too, because we don't have math and science. So obviously that's that wouldn't matter quite as much if you were like not doing well in history or some kind of literature class.
PCAT has its own special formula too, and it's a little bit different than Moore's. We actually moved to test blind for fall, so we don't consider test scores at all in our admissions process moving forward. We were test optional, but given the situation with the pandemic and some of the issues in just the fairness of reviewing test scores, we really felt strongly that test blind was the way to go. And we do have a minimum GPA requirement, but we look most heavily at the work in the portfolio and student statements of purpose.
Here at DCAD, we put a little bit more weight into the portfolio than the GPA. And like all of my colleagues here, I take a look at how successful you are in art and design and in your English classes, and use that to provide some judgment, because just like Kim had said, we don't offer algebra at DCAD. Math and science is all baked into the art making process. So I'm less concerned about the kind of equations that you're working with and more interested in how you perform in your color theory classes, because that is science right to the core. We also do not require the SATs or ACTs, simply because they don't assess art making at all. In fact, I would love to see some kind of art-related standardized tests for the non-artistic people to feel some of the stress and pressure that their peers may be feeling. So in combination of your portfolio and your transcripts, we also look at your service and leadership and volunteerism in the community. So that makes up a special portion of your application.
I just wanted to add to that too, like we are still taking test scores, but they're weighted to your advantage. So if you don't submit them, it's not going to hurt you at all. And if you do submit them, and you're a good test taker, it's designed to help you. So.
Thank you. And I want to put you all right on the spot again with a follow-up. And I know it's really tough to answer this question from an admission standpoint because every student's different and every student's entire application as a whole is going to, look different from another. Is there a general minimum GPA or something that you would recommend students aim to hit so that it would be, much more likely to ensure that they would get into one of your art programs?
So I'll take that. It's pretty our minimum GPA is a 2.0. We will consider someone who has a cumulative GPA that's less than a 2.0, but we do an interview with the student and really take circumstances under careful individualized consideration. But our average GPA for students is a 3.4. So we do tend to attract students that have both the art and the academic abilities.
We are in a similar boat as PCAD. Our minimum requirement is a 2.0. And again, if your score is below that, we would encourage you to be interviewed not only by our chair of our liberal arts program, but by the admissions department, because we totally get it. Things happen in life that may have brought your GPA down, but often more than not, your GPA is also linked to potential merit opportunities. And so, you know, if coming out of high school, if you think that your GPA is a little too low, I would recommend to everyone to take a class at Del Tech. Help boost your GPA just a little bit so that that really helps you in the long run in getting more merit-based scholarships to attend any institution. So there are simple solutions if you're a little afraid, but you shouldn't be too timid to throw your hat in the ring because you're a little ashamed of maybe what your GPA is at.
And Kim, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, we usually, it's generally around a 2.0 as well, although we have taken students below that under certain circumstances, like if something happened to them. And again, that's kind of where the essay can come into play, where you can really map that out, or schedule a session with us, not necessarily an interview, but like a meeting. And then also that can also, the GPA portion can also be boosted if you have a lower GPA with a high portfolio score. So
awesome. Thank you all very much. I know when students or whenever we get that type of question, it's always nice to be able to give a minimum number, just to say, hey, as long as you can try to hit this, you know, anything above that is even better. And so, Randall, I'm glad you kind of brought up merit money, because the only other question we have as of right now asks about in-state versus out-of-state tuition. Do you all have those differences? If you do, what are those differences? If not, you know, what does that look like? And so if anybody can kind of answer that question in regards to, does your institution have in-state versus out-of-state tuition, as well as if you just want to reaffirm or revisit quickly, you know, any financial aid or merit opportunities that your institution offers. I will say, thank you all so much for highlighting your 2+2 agreements. I think those are amazing. And I think that if, you know, when students are in a position that they need to transfer between institutions, those are so wonderful in helping ease that transition process. So I think it's awesome that you guys have those 2+2 agreements and that you've talked about them already. But if you're able to go into just a little bit more about your tuition rates, whether or not there's a difference, and then anything else students can do that you might offer. We'll start with Randall.
All right, Sid, did you want to take this question? It's time for redemption.
That's okay, Randall. It's okay, Randall. You take it away.
Okay. So there is no difference between in-state or out-of-state tuition. Our tuition is just kind of where it's at. If you want to, by applying to DCAD prior to March 15th, you will be automatically considered for merit-based scholarship. So I'm certain other schools here will also have deadlines for that. So keep that in the back of your mind, but there's no tuition differences.
I will go next if that's all right. We have, and I meant to mention this in my presentation, I apologize. Our highest scholarship, you need a 3.5 GPA or above and a good portfolio. But like I said, it ranges anywhere from 6,000 a year up through the 22,000 a year range. So if you come in like just under that, you can still, it's like a pretty wide spectrum and you can still get something close to that if you have a good portfolio and GPA. So we are a private nonprofit. So we don't have in-state versus out-of-state. And there is actually a tuition calculator on our website where you can, if you apply and get an internal scholarship from us, you can plug that in along with what you qualify for the FAFSA. And then if you get any outside scholarships, which we take all outside scholarships, it kind of spits out a total that you can kind of work with. And then also, if you are interested in enrolling, we work with you throughout the summer with the financial aid office to kind of pave the way and give you a path forward.
So we're similar. We don't have out-of-state versus in-state tuition at Pennsylvania College of Art and Design. It's a flat private tuition rate. We are one of the most affordable, if not the most affordable, ACAD college of art and design in the country. And we offer merit scholarships that range in amounts from about $8,000 to $20,000. Bonnie mentioned we offer the $2,000 a year transfer student scholarship. And we also have a portfolio merit scholarship competition that students can enter. This year, the deadline is March 1st. And we offer individualized additional merit scholarships based on your portfolio review through that competition. So lots of opportunities for scholarships and merit. And we also offer a FAFSA federal aid and work with you through the summer. We have rolling admissions as well.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for answering that. And I'm glad, I believe it was Kim that brought up, and Jen, you may have mentioned it as well, accepting outside scholarships, because one of the things that I wish more students would recognize and take advantage of every year are those small, local, statewide, regional scholarships that a number of organizations offer. They may only be $500 each or maybe $1,000 each, but students can really clean up with those if they just apply to all those scholarships that their school counselors end up posting for them on Schoology and emailing home to parents throughout the year. Wink, wink, students and parents who see this. Some of those scholarships even go unawarded because those organizations don't get applications. So it's really important that, yes, it's great to see institutions that offer opportunities for students to pay for their tuitions. But, it's really important that students, anybody who sees this, that you apply for those, more local scholarships or regional scholarships, which your school counselors can connect you with. We're just about done. Those are the rest. Let me check one more time. Those are the rest of the questions that we got from the Q&A link, from the Google link. So if anybody, is anything you all want to add as to kind of like round things out or just to say goodbye before we end up ending the live stream? I will say you guys can stay on once we end the live stream for just a moment so I can chat with you. But anything Randall or Osmond or Kim that the three of you want to say as we close things out?
There is one thing that I want to say. When Brandon came to me during a visit, he said, I want to pull this panel together. And I thought about some of the colleagues that really would have an impact for students in your district, and immediately thought of PCAD and more. And I want you to keep in mind, we're all friendly here. We all have different offerings. It's not like you're comparing apples and oranges. We're the whole still life, and art and design is just the bowl that keeps us together. So when thinking about your college journey, you really want to find a program that's going to sit well with you. And don't be ashamed if it's not a DCAD. I totally get it. The shirt is terrible. But I want to thank you guys for attending this event. And we really, all of us, I could honestly say, are here to help you on your artistic journey. And something that Kim had brought up in a planning session was this customized creative mentorship. And that's something that I can guarantee from every one of our programs is that we are here for you to grow your voice and vision as an artist and designer. And if there is anything that this pandemic has taught me, is that the world needs artists and designers. It's like, otherwise we'd all have cabin fever and be going crazy here. So even if you're on the fence about going to an art school, you got to do it. Now is the time to really pursue your creative endeavors. years.
I think very well said, Randall. And I couldn't be more excited to be part of an artistic atmosphere in college where we're all supporting artists, all of us together at Moore, DCAD and PCAD, just inspiring fellow artists to come and concentrate on their art. I think is really stellar to say. Thank you.
Randall and Brandon, I'd just like to thank you for inviting us to be part of this panel tonight. It was a real pleasure, and I couldn't have said it better, Randall. Thank you.
Yeah, me neither. I loved that whole metaphor. Yeah, we're all small schools, and we all have great tight-knit communities that truly care about our students. And we all have things that may appeal to some people but not others. So, just check us out and see what you like. But thank you so much for having us here tonight. Really appreciate being here and attending with all of you.
Anybody else? So forever hold your peace.
It's weird I haven't said much because you all know me. I'm a very talkative person, but but no, I do appreciate the camaraderie amongst all of our schools. The comparisons between us can be said and whatnot, but we're all, like Randall said, we're all here for the same thing. And being on the road with Kim and Randall before times, I do really appreciate your companionship. I appreciate all the admissions teams in general and all the people that help get students to where they need to go, especially within the arts community. So that's why I pride myself on being an admissions counselor, and I pride myself on the companionship and the friends that I make within this little art world that we have between these three schools. So I appreciate being here, and I'm glad we did it. So.
And I want to follow just on what you all just said right there. First, I want to thank you all for being here. It's really important that we find ways to connect our students and families with opportunities that align with their interests. And we know that it's been rough doing that through college visits and virtual fairs and things like that. So it's been really tough for everybody to really make those connections, get that information out. But I appreciate you all being willing to do this. I really want to say I appreciate everyone who's tuned into this, or everyone in the future who does watch this. But one thing you all said is just like that sense of community. And I think it's really important to highlight that the art community is a community, and you all support one another regardless of what your interests are, regardless of what institution you attend. And so I want to thank you all. And I really am hopeful that we will have students and families who can benefit from this information. Anyone out there who has watched this, please do not hesitate to reach out to anyone on this panel or any of these institutions. You can visit their websites. You can submit information requests or ask for individual meetings. I know that there's always help for portfolios as well. So make sure that you're going to these institution websites, that you're reaching out to people. If you need help connecting with one of them, reach out to me if you're from a student from Appoquinimink High School, or your school counselor, or if you're from Middletown or Odessa or any other school out there who may end up seeing this, reach out to your school counselors. We are really good resources, and we will get you the information you need to make sure we get you connected to who you need. So thank you all once again. We're getting ready to end this live stream, so if you guys want to wave bye to everybody, I guess is the classic thing. Thank you all very much, and thank everyone.